Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I will start a series on how to create a simple 2D platformer game for beginners from start to finish. You can download Unity Hub from their official website. After a simple installation of Unity Hub, click on the Installs tab where you can see Install Editor to select the version of the editor that suits you. I will not install a new one because I already have several versions installed. After installing the Unity editor, click on the Projects tab, then New Project. For this tutorial, you can select Universal 2D. Name the project whatever you like. In this case, I named it Simple Platformer. I would like to note that selecting examples at the beginning is just to save you time by installing some predefined packages, but whichever you choose, you can create for any platform or any type. Click Create Project and wait for the project to open. Once the project is open, create a new scene and make a folder named Scenes for better organization of the project. Create a few more folders, for example, Art for Design and Scripts for Scripts. Import the TileMap where the design for our 2D platformer map and background is located. I downloaded this from the Open Game Art website where you can find more free assets for games. Set the texture type to Sprite, 2D and UI, Sprite mode to Multiple, and pixels per unit to your desired value. If you're unsure, you can leave it at 100, but in my case, I use 32. Set the filter mode to Point, No Filter, and compression to none to prevent the texture from being altered and degraded, especially since it is pixel art. In the sprite editor, select Slice, set the type to Automatic, and you can use the Smart method. This is done to separate the objects in the tile map and use them individually in the tile palette. In the scene, create a tile map grid and rename it to whatever you want. I named it Ground because I will use it for the ground. Open the tile palette and create a new palette. I will talk more about tile maps in a separate video. Drag the tile map you imported into the tile palette. You can create a new folder for better organization of the project. Now you can drag the background into the scene and start creating your desired ground for the platformer. Note that in the 2D world, everything depends on the layers, so you need to arrange them as you want to display them. In my case, I set the background to -1 because it needs to be behind the ground, which is at 0. Add a new tag ground to mark what is ground in the game so that we can distinguish it in the game using scripts. When adding 2D colliders to objects, we usually add collider 2D, box, circle, but in this case, when dealing with a tile map, you should add a TileMap Collider 2D. Create a new folder in Art named Player to add the design for the player. You can use primitive objects that are predefined in Unity, but I found this red ball for free on the internet, so I will use it for this tutorial. Drag the sprite into the scene and tag it as player. Adjust the size in the transform scale. For now, I found that X 0.5 and Y 0.5 works for me. Create a new script named Player Movement where we will implement simple movement and jumping for our ball. In the update function, we check that the x-axis for moving left and right and add velocity to the rigid body and check if it is grounded due to the possibility of jumping. In the onCollision enter 2D and onCollision exit 2D methods, we are specifically checking for collisions with the ground tag. We added this tag earlier and marked the ground objects with the ground tag. Add the player movement script to the player object. Then, add a rigid body 2D component to the player. Create a 2D physics material to make our ball a bit bouncy and attach it to the rigid body 2D component. Next, add a circle collider 2D component and adjust the radius to fit your player. Now that we have a script for simple player movements and collision detection methods to know if the ball is on the ground and can jump, we can test if it works in play mode. It is working. Good. Let's go to the next step. Create a collectible script and add a method called onTriggerEnter2D to detect collisions with the player. This script will be used for collectibles in the game, and it will destroy the collectible object once it collides with the player. Later, we will learn about adding effects, sounds, and more. Add the coins or other collectibles to your scene. I will select all the sprites to quickly create an animation for now, to save time. We will learn more about animations in Unity later. I will create more copies of the collectibles in the scene to test them. Oh, I forgot to mark the Collectibles Collider 2D as a trigger. Now it should work. Yes, it is working. Now I will arrange my scene objects with parent objects, and let's proceed to the final step for this first tutorial. You can adjust the values in the player movement script or the player's mass and physics material to achieve the desired results for movement, jumping, and other behaviors. Create a script called Screen Manager to display the collected collectibles for now. Later, we will expand this script to include lives, levels, and other features. Call the addScore method from the Screen Manager to add the score and update the score on the screen. Now we will create a canvas with TextMesh Pro text to display our points. The image I added without texture will serve for now only as a background for displaying the top menu tab. In the next video, we will learn the basics of particle systems and sound in Unity. We will also create a camera following system, enhance the movement logic, and make a simple enemy system. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, Please like, share, and subscribe.